Hey, deserving listeners, sister wives, let's see what comes out of my face as I watch.
I just didn't expect it. I've always kind of like...
Don't say it, Meri. Don't say it. Unless it leads somewhere. Don't say it.
imagined what it would be like when, like, I help you plan your wedding and stuff like that, and with Madison's wedding, and now...
Meri, what is wrong with you? Robin just got done telling you the obvious reality that she could still get married and have kids. She might not. She might not have, even if she were straight. But, yeah. Meri's face like, what the fuck are you talking about?
McKelty, and I'm just like wondering how...
I can still get married.
Well, I know you can.
So why...
Jesus Christ. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so hard. I mean, I think I might have been traumatized by some clients who were like her. It's been a long time. And really, the people I'm thinking about are teens and children that I would talk to, where you're just like, well, what do you want? I don't know. Okay. What do you want to do? I don't, it's just like, what do I do? Yeah. Mariah, and God bless, her facial expressions are exhibiting that at least Mariah is standing on the ground and knows what's going on and is not being pushed around by Meri's past. I mean, it's just like so passive and like, and it's a product of Meri being raised this way. It's not as if Meri had the way of doing this, could stand on her own 2 feet and say things. It's not like she had it and then lost it or is choosing not to engage in it right now. It's a high probability that Meri was never allowed to develop it.
Is that concerning?
Well,
And I want to point out that one version of infidelity is definitely in this category, where you have someone who has never been allowed to be themselves, and they might even be married to someone who would absolutely be okay with their spouse being themselves, but they just don't know how to go down that road. But because of their childhood, they aren't in connection with that. They're not in connection with their needs, and they're walking around being nice to everybody but secretly hating everything, or at least, suppression of their anger and their rage about it. Someone comes along and lets them be themselves and accepts them. And, new relationships, when you're cheating online or something, they don't have the complications of a real relationship, right? It could be a fantasy, and it becomes this very attractive thing, and then infidelity happens, and it's a way for individuals like this to express their anger and their rage because they have no safety to do so. They might actually have the safety to do so, but they don't think that they do based on their childhood. And so do I have notes on how she was parented exactly? 24 siblings. Her sister was in a polygamous marriage and died from, I think, colon cancer. DDD. Yeah, I don't have anything from her childhood. I wrote down a bunch of little words about her role in the family, that she's a pleaser, she's a placater, she apologizes for Cody, she helps people to get along, she's close to Robin but not Janelle and Christine. So I would guess that if we knew about Meri's, and maybe you do, about Meri's early childhood, that there was a domineering father. It's just a guess. Or maybe even both of her parents are domineering and wouldn't allow her as a young child to be angry.
Just because it'll be different than I expected. I'm sorry,
really,
it's
though.
weird. I'm sorry.
It's not...
Yeah, it's so fucking childish. It's so fucking childish. I don't know. It's just like weird that you're gay and like, you can't get married. And what are you talking about? I can get married. I don't know. It's just weird. What? Your daughter has come out as gay, and you're just like, "Ugh, I don't know what to say. This is just so weird. What? It's just. I don't know if I blame Meri. I think she's freaking out on the inside. But come on.
Oh, not you. My feelings. That word weird had nothing to do with her.
Like, it's not.
No, I'm saying my feelings are weird, that it's like I'm just processing it.
Okay. Then, and like Robin said, don't go to Mariah until you figure this shit out, because Robin knew that this was going to happen. And it's happening. Ugh, I feel bad for Mariah. Go back to college.
Okay, well, it's not like I can't get married. It's not like I can't have kids. Like, I'm not.
How? You want me to just tell you exactly how I feel about it?
Yes.
Really?
Well, if you have a problem with it, I'd rather know.
Yeah. Ugh. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. So one of my favorite songs of all time is by Elvis Costello, and the song is called Every Day I Write the Book. Now, it's a love song, but you can also think about it as a song about our existence. You know, every day we write the book of our lives. Along these lines, now that it's a new year, you can think about how you want to write your book in 2025. And of course, therapy is a great place that you can explore this sort of thing. You know, in therapy, we can really focus on ourselves and our story. And a great place to find a therapist is at BetterHelp. If you're thinking of starting therapy, it's definitely worth giving a try. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy both affordable and convenient. They have over 30,000 therapists with a wide range of specialties, and it's easy to switch therapists at any time. So write your story with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Kirk today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Kirk.
Did I say problem?
Okay, well, I don't know. You're acting, you keep saying weird and stuff. Like, I don't know.
I said weird about my feelings being weird. It's weird that I'm, like, thinking that I can't still plan a wedding for you.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I'm saying is weird.
That doesn't help, Meri. It's, my God, yeah. I was wondering what was going on in their relationship. You know, it would be a season or two ago when Mariah had been cutting herself off to some extent from Meri because of the catfishing thing, and Meri took Mariah out into a snow area and was just like, "Let's talk about it." And the conversation was very awkward, and Meri did not lead the conversation and didn't really say anything. She just she's the kind of communicator where she sits, and she does this to Cody too. She sits down and she says, "Okay, let's talk." And then Meri thinks that someone will just take over, that someone will just do everything for her. And that is indicative of this kind of personality, the dependence. And when she did it that first time with Mariah, I couldn't really figure out what was going on. And I sort of understood on some level because she had been victimized by the catfisher. And I just thought, but seeing this, I imagine that Mariah might have experienced this throughout her life, of just how anxiety provoking it is to be around someone that's so anxious about just being a human being. And, I don't blame Meri for it. She did not, endeavor to become this way. Something happened to her, but it's not Mariah's responsibility to take care of her mom in this way. And so and especially around this topic, it's not complicated. And if it is to you, then figure your shit out. But, for some people, avoidance is just automatic. And then I think she hoped that she could just sit down and just say, okay, I want to talk. And then Mariah would take over and just fix everything, because she clearly came with no plan or no approach, and she's still stuck in these really ridiculous things that Robin already addressed. Plus, it's obvious. It's like, I know she didn't grow up in the 16th century. Meri understands about, sperm banks and gay couples and gay marriage. She didn't roll out of a cave after being in hibernation for 200 years. So Robin didn't need to tell it. She knows these things. They're not, now, you'll say, well, but in a certain religious cult, it's hard. Yeah. But it's your daughter, and you've had, I think, days, weeks, maybe, since you found out to plus it doesn't take long. But just look at Robin and Janelle. I mean, they are in this religion too. It's not hard, especially Janelle. I mean, Robin apparently has gay friends, and Robin wasn't in the group, right? Her mom and dad divorced, raised by stepdad. She was secretly polygamous as a kid, so she did grow up in a polygamous family. I don't know what that says, but Janelle, and I don't know her background, but my impression is Janelle doesn't really have any friends, but who knows? But Janelle, she figured it out in an instant. So Meri, I guess I keep avoiding the conclusion that Meri is a bigot and wants to be, chooses to be. It certainly looks that way, but I don't know. I think there's a good possibility that she's just completely in over her head, and it's being revealed, at least to us, something that Mariah probably knows all too well, that Meri just, it's almost like there's no one there. It's just an anxious ball of nothing, and she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what she wants, and she just hopes that everyone will just get along and that other people will just tell her what to do. And I guess that would illuminate, if true, why there would be these paradoxes where she both encouraged Cody to be with Janelle and maybe Christine and Robin. We heard very specific things that are clear that Cody either wasn't up for it or was outright saying, I can't be with Robin because she's divorced. And meanwhile, Meri, is the one convincing Cody or introducing Cody to Janelle, this kind of thing. And so you're thinking, and then Meri proceeded to, I think, according to Janelle, punish Janelle for interfering with their family and having a conflictual relationship, and then just a cold conflictual relationship after that. And then Meri with Robin, similarly, that for Meri, she felt like her relationship with Cody was getting better. Then she convinces Cody to court Robin. That thing takes off. And then Meri says that's when her relationship started to suck with Cody, which wouldn't be hard to predict. And so if she doesn't know who she is or what she wants, and she's just shooting in the dark in terms of what she should be doing, and she's trying to please everyone, then yeah, it kind of actually looks like that, right? Like with, I think I hypothesized earlier, because the way it played out with Janelle was that Meri's brother was married to Janelle, and the relationship only lasted less than a year. I'm just going to take a guess and say that Meri's brother was culpable for some problems there. I don't know. And Meri felt bad for Janelle, and even though she didn't really want Janelle to be around, and Meri was clear in this previous episode that Meri and Janelle were not really friends. She was like, I just want, she kept emphasizing we weren't really friends. So it wasn't like we were buds or anything. But then Meri's the one that engineered the whole thing. Up until that point, Cody, I don't even think he was necessarily interested in polygamy, because at that point, Meri and Cody had been married for a few years and didn't even have kids yet. Cody himself was not raised in a polygamous family. His father converted to the AUB when Cody was like 19 or something, and then he met Meri when he was 21-ish or something. So now, I know it's complicated, and I don't know what was in Cody's heart. He might have been heading in that direction anyway, and might have actually been planning. They don't really comment on that. But anyway, it just really illuminates potentially a lot of paradoxes that I've been struggling with over time about whether or not Meri wants this or doesn't want it. And that question is nonsensical because she might not know what she wants, and she is just a reflection of what she thinks everyone else wants her to be. And that makes me very sad. And it also makes her not a great parent in this moment, because everything that she's doing is in the wrong direction with Mariah. Mariah would have every reason to walk away from this going, I think my mom accepts me, but also she is so far behind and is only really thinking about what she wants. Like, she was looking forward to having a son-in-law. Okay? Thanks, Mom. And she said it was weird. Thanks, Mom. that I might marry a woman. That's the only thing. That's the only reaction you got. It's just weird. I mean, it's just when I say that, it's just so fucking childish. It's just so. It's like, don't say anything, Meri. But don't say that. So now I'm gonna take a guess and say that y'all know, because you've watched ahead, that Meri eventually comes around. And I will allow, absolutely, for Meri being particularly undifferentiated, maybe particularly depressed and particularly ashamed and lacking assertiveness because of what she went through with the catfisher. That was horrible, and might have been the one time that Meri decided to actually stand on one of those lily pads and like, this is what I'm going to do, and then to have that whole thing come crashing down so spectacularly, to learn that, wait, Sam doesn't even exist, and Lindsay has been manipulating me for the beginning. This is completely false. None of this is real. I'm an idiot, and I'm dragging my family, so you just imagine. So I'm sure that affects. But I imagine that Meri is like that. This looks like something that's inherent to her personality, and that's unfortunate.
Weird. I don't know what she meant when she said weird, but the way she said it and the context was, it would be weird me marrying a woman.
That's absolutely what she meant. There's no other explanation. Her backpedaling and saying, no, I was just weird, in my thoughts. No. You said, now I don't think, at least I hope, I keep making excuses for Meri, but I hope that Meri didn't mean, ew, gross. I think what she meant was, this is very strange. This is a very strange thought for me to think about this, Yeah. But just,
Good grief.
And God bless Mariah for sticking with it. She would have every right to just throw her hands up and go, fuck you. Fuck you for not adjusting in your mind. Fuck you for making this about you. Fuck you for saying good grief. Good grief what, Mom? What's good grief? What's the problem? If there's a problem, tell me. But don't dance around it. Don't call it weird and then say that. Don't say something, and don't make this about you. This is, it's just, okay, fine, you have some thoughts, but don't you understand what I've been through in my life to have suppress? Now, then she might say, well, yeah, I know exactly what that's like. I'm not gay, but I've had to suppress everything I am and everything. Maybe that's a part of this. I wouldn't be surprised that for Meri, she resents her daughter for actually breaking free. It could be, right? And through projective identification, through true projection, not the way that colloquially people will use the word projection, but that Meri, a long time ago, had to attack her own sense of self and her own self, her own true self, in order to get by in her family of origin and maybe in the marriage. And when she sees someone, so what happens is, you have these dynamics, these psychodynamics, and you have this super ego that is telling the self, don't express yourself, don't be real, don't be yourself. And then you see someone else being themselves, and then that superego just kicks in because it's used to just attacking people for being themselves, particularly people close to her. I could see that being it's a viable conceptualization. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Tune in next time when I continue watching, and everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.